Welcome to the 2018 Autocar Orientation video. This video is intended to highlight and identify the unique features of your new Autocar ACTT terminal tractor. One of the most important things to remember about Autocar is that we encourage you to call us direct anytime you have any issue or question with your truck. This service is called Solutions Tech Support and is highlighted in a separate video. Your new Autocar is powered by many components that will be familiar to you: a Cummins engine, Allison transmission, and Meritor axles. If you're ever in need of more detail, for instance the serial numbers, you can find this information printed on a label inside the rear sliding door. You can also find the VIN stamped in the left-hand wheel well and at the rear of the boom. This year, all UPS units are built DOT compliant and have added DOT required options such as marker lights and anti-lock brakes. The trucks are set to a 33-mile-an-hour maximum speed, and the engines are set to automatically shut off after a sustained idle period of 5 minutes. Besides an unmatched commitment to service, Autocar's claim to fame in the terminal tractor space is boasting the heaviest duty truck and chassis, along with what we consider to be the most operator-friendly environment, which is highlighted by the largest overall cab and most visibility. All windows are a bit larger, and you'll find a curved front windshield, which is designed to support up and down visibility. The rear door opening is the largest in the industry, supporting an easy ingress and egress to and from the cab. Autocar's cab is all steel, and each goes through a 17-step e-coating process, which is designed to help prevent corrosion. This, along with the heaviest duty frame, heavy-duty bumper, and heavy-duty muffler guard, are designed to help stand the test of time. The following section will call attention to some areas of interest when performing a pre-trip inspection. However, you should always refer to and follow the prescribed UPS pre-trip procedure. Before you get started each day, it's important to perform a pre-trip inspection to make sure that there are no obvious issues that might cause a problem down the road. When doing the pre or post-trip inspection, UPS guidelines are to start at the left front tire and travel clockwise around the unit. Autocar locates as many of these features as possible right by the access steps, including the engine and transmission dipsticks and the air tank drains. Even if the truck is equipped with an air dryer, it's still recommended to drain the tanks to get rid of any moisture and make sure you're working with optimal air volume. You'll also find the receptacle for the block heater in this area. On the curb side of the chassis, you'll find the washer fluid reservoir and the hydraulic tank, which is equipped with the sight glass. When checking the sight glass, make sure that the boom is lowered and the fluid is relatively cool. Under the cab, you'll find the coolant reservoir, where you should check the sight glass to make sure the red coolant is visible. This is also a good area to see Autocar's UPS-specific harness routing. You'll see a special spiral wrap around the harness and no metal P-clamps, along with several other routing provisions which are designed to cut down on electrical issues down the road. The transmission breather is also now relocated to eliminate the potential for water intrusion. Next, you'll want to check under the truck for any visible fluid leaks and check the air pressure on the tires. Proper tire pressures can be found on the UPS eye-gate. Adjust to the UPS spec per the tire size. It's also a good idea to walk around the entire chassis to check for any obvious concerns, such as trip hazards or damage. Autocar terminal tractors built 2018 and after will feature a new and improved cab tilt system. You'll find the controls easier to use and located on the left-hand frame. The pump is positioned in the right-hand wheel well as shown here. To avoid damage when tilting the cab, before beginning the tilt process, be sure that there's nothing loose in the cab or on the dash that might hit and damage the windshield, and be sure that the area in front of the cab is clear. The new controls are fairly intuitive. To raise the cab, simply pull the safety cord and hold down the raise button. To lower, pull the cord and hold the lower button until the cab is fully seated. To double check that the latch is closed correctly, check the indicator on the suspension assembly. The indicator rod will be out when the latch is open, and it will be fully recessed when it has latched correctly. When climbing onto the deck and ultimately into the cab, make sure to use 3 points of contact at all times. The same applies when dismounting as shown here. Autocar uses an aggressive grip strut on the steps and decking to help avoid slip and fall opportunities. UPS also specifies an extended decking, which creates a wider platform to help reduce those opportunities even further. You can see in the cab that there's a lot of large windows and a ton of visibility. That's really key for safety in our minds, and it's a good idea to wash those regularly to keep them clean. On both the operator seat and the trainer seat, you'll find a seat belt, so please make sure to use those. Autocar's standard gauge package includes the fuel gauge, speedometer, air tank pressure, oil pressure, and coolant temperature. As of 2018, all UPS units built by Autocar are DOT legal, which means they're equipped with today's engine emission technology. One of the more important elements to that system is the introduction of DEF fluid, which is used during the exhaust process. It's imperative to ensure that the DEF fluid does not run out, otherwise the truck will shut down. You can monitor the DEF level by looking at the 4 bars at the bottom of the fuel gauge. Those bars go down proportionally as the DEF supply gets exhausted. On the UPS spec, you'll notice the magnet release switch as well as your dolly master controls are located ergonomically on the dash. On the right side, you'll find the 5th wheel controls and jaw lock release, as well as a conveniently placed cup holder. You'll notice there's no left-hand door, which means you can't exit there in the event of an emergency. Rather than use a kick-out windshield, we've elected to make the right-hand window a hinged safety exit. Just pull up these 2 latches, swing the window up, and step safely onto the deck. We've also relocated the fuse box on the windshield side of the dash for easy access. When you start the truck, pay attention to the wait to start light. It will disappear once the gauges do their initial sweep and it's safe to start the truck. After you've started the truck, the air pressure will build in the tanks, and keep an eye on the engine oil pressure to make sure that system is building pressure as well. Once the engine is running, you'll be able to use the boom controls. Feel free to use the engine throttle to provide more power to the hydraulic pump if needed. Outside the cab, you'll find ample lighting, which includes 3 rear-facing work lights, in addition to a recessed light in the back of the cab. All lights are LED. You'll also find a pre-wire in the channel at the back of the cab to allow for the installation of a strobe light if needed. The chassis is greased by a Graco auto lube system, the reservoir for which is located in the right-hand wheel well. In the 5th wheel and boom area, you'll notice on all UPS units that both the frame and boom are galvanized to help prevent corrosion. Notice on the side of the boom there are holes to insert a safety bar if servicing any area under the boom section. Do not work under the boom area unless the safety rod is in place. Under the boom, you'll notice our boxed-in frame, which provides extra strength, and you can see the pintle hook and D-rings at the end of the frame. We found the fenders and mudflap brackets tend to be a potential damage point, and you can see our bracket design features a spring-loaded breakaway, which is intended to help those brackets absorb some subtle contact. If you look under the boom, you'll notice we use only heavy-duty 5-inch lift cylinders and mount them with the rod pushing up, which gives them more lifting capacity and also keeps the hydraulic hoses stationary to help prevent rubbing and chafing down the road. Beginning in 2018, you'll also find the New Holland FW35TT, which is the new and improved version of its predecessor, the FW35. On the curb side of the unit, you'll find a combo DPF SCR exhaust stack, which is what's commonly referred to as the after treatment system. Immediately behind the stack is the DEF tank. Autocar surrounds the tank with a protective box to help prevent damage and dirt intrusion. To access or fill the tank, simply open the hinged cover to access the tank and turn the cap. Behind the DEF tank, you'll find the battery box and a hydraulic tank. The battery box contains a new cover system which operates on a slider and stores the cover in a hanging position. To remove the cover, simply remove the tie downs, lift the cover up, and slide it down the track to the lower stowed position. That concludes our brief overview of the truck itself, and I hope you found the information helpful. Be sure to get caught up to speed on Autocar's most unique feature, our Solutions Tech Support Service. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us directly. We're here to help. Thanks for watching.